It's a wonderful May 15th. The sun is shining. I got up this morning and I have made up my mind that I'm going to run again.
It's time for a change. He was in there last year, and I don't see where he did anything.
There is a two-party system building up tonight. The Fumigated Association of Regulatory Transmission Party, or the FART Party, against the non-FART Party. Right now, the FART Party, if we're going to break it down into two groups like we're doing this evening, has the presidency with Rol Heath running as an incumbent against Marianne Dalton for the non-FART Party.
Farting has always been one of the things that the family has done, and done well.
Well, I definitely am a non-fart. I still feel that the other side has given me something to think about that I think is a very strong point.
He should vote for me, that I shouldn't vote for him.
Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that introduction, everybody. Good evening. I'm Jim Heath reporting from our Election News 83 News Center. Tonight, the presidential election once again between Rol Heath and Marianne Dalton. We have nothing to report right now at the beginning of our broadcast, but we hope to have something real soon. So quickly, before we get our first ballot to come in, let's quickly take a look at the monitor right now and see what exactly was voted upon in the last and this presidential ballot. Take a look at your screen now. For President of the Heath household, you can see Rol Heath against Marianne Dalton. Dalton was a favorite for quite some time for the presidential race, but Rol Heath in the last couple of weeks has pulled ahead. The final tally at the bottom of the screen. For the media, only one candidate once again has shown his stride to run. Jim Heath is back on the ballot as president of the Heath media. Question 1A on the ballot was Doris Heath as judge. Yes will probably win, but there will be interesting to see how many no votes there are. 1B is whether or not the judge, 1B, should be on the ballot in the next presidential election, which means that there would be no more judge in the next election. We believe no will win. Question number 2, probably crucial, probably the most critical, is an outside representative. We believe that even the outside people are voting no on this because they don't want another elected office. So that will probably be defeated, but it should be very close. Question 3 is, of course, whether or not we should have a treasurer position appointed or elected. If the Rol Heath people vote for him, they'll vote for elected, probably appointed for Dalton. And finally, question 4 is an issue that the judge of the Heath House could have decided quite some time ago. Question 4 is whether or not Grandma and Grandpa should have the right to vote in either every election, an election when they're out in Arizona, or never at all. We believe it will be split all three ways. However, we believe the second one, when here, will win. You know, this is the most dramatic and controversial presidential election that we've ever had. This is the 5th presidential election. In the first race, it was Lynette Yogi against Bill Heath and Marianne Heath at the time. And then the second presidential election, it was William Heath running against Mick Heath. In the third, William Heath was running by himself. He was our only president so far to receive a full-length year term. And then last December, Rol Heath defeated him 6 votes to 3 in that presidential election. And here it is, the summer of 1983. We've got two unusual platforms running against each other. Not so much candidates, different candidates, but separate platforms. Marianne Dalton is coming in as a challenger in this race, and up until last week, actually the expected front-runner and expected victor in tonight's election. She's running on the platform Fines for Farts, a very controversial issue.
I feel that if he had any intelligence at all, that he would see that he should vote for me, that I shouldn't vote for him.
Can you tell us the reason for that?
It's time for a change. He was in there last year, and I don't see where he did anything.
Let me ask you about your platform. You were approached by the head of the media to try to drop this platform so that we could encourage the people to vote for you, or in simpler terms, endorse you, but you would not. You would not wait until after elected to propose it. Are you really that strong for finding the Heath members into party? Because after all, it is a tradition in the Heath household.
Oh, I think there's several ways to collect some money for the Heath Treasury. I would like to, if elected, appoint a treasurer so that we could start accumulating some money for our own Heath use. Maybe a trip. Oh, there's many things we could do with it.
Rol Heath, the current incumbent, has served 6 months, not so much different from both Bill and Lynette. That could hurt him this evening. He is running on the platform, farts are fine.
I'd like to announce that I'm going to run on the platform that farting's fine. My opponents have come out against it and are going to impose fines. I'm going to say it is fine. We're going to run on that platform. Happy days are here again. Bring on the baked beans.
Farting has always been one of the things that the family has done, and done well. You know, there's some exceptional fart blossoms in this family.
If I may interrupt, does that or does it not include Marianne herself?
Oh, Marianne's one of the top farters of all time. Oh, she's excellent.
Well, good evening once again, everybody. I'm Jim Heath reporting. Now, quickly, take a look at your monitor right now. Our first precinct has been reported. It's for question number 2 on the outside representative position. Being the first vote to come in, it's kind of hard to predict which way this is going to go, although we did mention earlier in our broadcast that we believe that even the outside people were voting no on their outside representative elected position. So as you can see on question number 2, so far, 1 vote no. Now, quickly, let's go to question number 3, where 2 votes have come in. Presumably, these are Rol Heath people voting. Remember, the Heath people wanted to vote for elected. That way, in case Marianne was a victor this evening, it would still mean that we'd have to have an election for the treasurer, and Marianne might have some trouble getting one of her own people elected. So as you can see, Rol Heath must be pretty overwhelmed with our first 2 votes on this question to come in, both going for elected. And if this is an indication, on how people are voting so far, I guess we could say that Rol Heath has 2 votes. Ladies and gentlemen, I just took a look at the next tally, and I thought before we showed it to you on the screen that with 4 votes reported on question number 4, the question whether Grandma and Grandpa should have an always vote, a when in Arizona vote, or never at all, I find this next statistic with just 4 votes reported, 5 more to go. Take a look at your monitor. I think you'll be quite surprised. It's split all 3 ways. Never at all is ahead. 1 vote going for every election, 1 vote going for when they were out in Arizona, and 2 votes never at all. Now, we predicted here at the media that the second one, when here, would win. However, with just 5 more votes to go on this one, you can see that never at all has a little bit of a lead. But here again, we've got 5 more votes to go. Now let's go back to question number 2, outside representative, where we've gotten some more votes in on that one. 3 more votes to come in on this one. The same amount as question number 4. Question number 2, outside representative. As you can see, we had our first no vote. Now, we've received 2 yes votes and another no vote. So this one's running neck and neck. We predicted that no would win, but yes is right up there in the running. With 5 more to come in, a majority of votes still to come in, we have the outside representative neck and neck. You know, besides the presidential election and seeing and trying to pick who is going to be the victor of that, here at the media, our second hardest question has been question number 1A, Should Doris Heath continue her reign as judge? We have nothing reported on this one yet, but we do have something coming in on question 1B. The question 1B, once again, to recall, is should the judge be on the next ballot? And we've got 3 votes in for that one. Take a look at your screen. Now, here at the media, we expected this one to be pretty close, but we expected no to win. And with these first 3 votes in, you can see 2 of them have gone yes, 1 of them has gone no. Now, we don't know how this one's going to end up, but right now, as you can clearly see, yes, the judge should be on the next ballot, is clearly in the lead. And this could be a good indication, before we switch, by the way, of Marianne Dalton, because her people were supposed to vote yes on this one so that they could continue their non-fart judges in the future. What we've got for you right now, we've got 2 things coming up. The first one that we've got for you is the treasurer position. 2 more votes have come in on that. And then we're going to show you what our tally is for president of the Heath Media, Jim Heath, who is running unopposed. But first, treasurer position. This, I believe, is the first question that has taken somewhat of a commanding lead over all the others. For the treasurer position, and possibly a good sign for Rol Heath, 3 elected for treasurer position and just 1 for appointed. Now, when we checked in the last time, there were 2 elected. It has added 1 more, and appointed has gotten 1. Meanwhile, Jim Heath, president of the Heath Media, who has never had an opponent in any of these elections, has 3 votes to come in. He has received all 3 of them, and that's very interesting. This is election 83. Okay, once again, welcome back, everybody, to election 83. 1 more vote has come in during that commercial break for Jim Heath as president of the Heath Media, and also 1 more vote has come in for question 1B, whether or not the judge should be on the ballot or not. If you recall, the last time we showed it to you on the screen, it had 2 yes votes and 1 no vote. As of right now, question 1B has 2 no votes and 2 yes votes, so it's very close there. Okay, here we go, folks. The 2 big major things of the presidential ballot are just about ready to start unfolding. We've got reports from both the presidential side of the ballot and Judge Doris Heath, whether or not she should continue her reign. Both of them have come in. 2 votes for the president, and I believe only 2 votes for Doris Heath. Let's take a look at those. Watch your screen now. Okay, number 1A, Doris Heath, should she continue her reign as Heath judge? Well, at least 2 people think so. The only 2 votes to come in on question 1A yet, both for Doris Heath. And now, for president of the Heath House, the first 2 votes have come in. It's quite a startling, possibly an indication for the trend of the evening. Both of them going to Fines for Fart candidate Marianne Dalton. First 2 votes for president of the Heath household, both of them going to Marianne Dalton. And with that in mind, we now go to question 1B again, whether or not the judge should be on the next presidential ballot. As hard as we might try, it could not be any closer than this. 3 more votes to go. It's got to split up somewhere, but question 1B was 6 votes counted. Should the judge be on the next presidential election? 3 votes yes, 3 votes no. Well, you just saw it, Mrs. Heath. The judge on the next presidential ballot is tied. 3 votes yes, 3 votes no. Any comment on this?
Well, I'm a little surprised. I thought it really would be a landslide, and I definitely am in favor of it.
Mm-hmm. So you did vote yes on this one?
Yes, I did.
Okay, question 1A, should you continue your reign as judge? We predicted here at the media that people would vote yes. the only 2 votes to come in have both been yes for you. Are you glad about that?
Oh, certainly. It makes me feel very good.
How do you think the next 7 votes will go?
Well, I hope they're all favorable.
What about President of the Heath House? You know, whether you should continue along with the President are the 2 most controversial and close-eyed topics we have, and they're both coming in very slowly. For President, we only have 2 votes that have come in, both for Marianne Dalton. Any comment on this?
Really no comment, no. I really don't have any feeling on that at all.
If Marianne wins, what do you think you'll have to do as judge to help her out in her Fines for Fart program?
What do you think I'll have to do? Oh, I'm sure if she wins, I'm probably going to be in great demand because I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of problems.
Did you vote for Marianne?
Oh, I don't think that. I think my vote...
As a non-fart judge, couldn't you tell us if you want to see the non-farts in power?
No, I really couldn't. No, I think that's very private. And
if Rol Heath wins, as judge, you're going to try to bring back Fines for Farts in your policies?
if Rol Heath wins, I think possibly I might throw that into a caucus and take votes again on at a later time on Fines for Farce. I think it's a very good way for us to earn some money and put into our kitty for something for the whole family. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, quickly, looking down at the screen once again, you can see that Grandma and Grandpa, that issue, I don't know if you're acquainted with it at all, but quickly, one vote is for they should vote always, one vote is for when they are out in Arizona, and 2 votes have gone never at all. As judge, you could have decided this issue yourself, whether they should have voting rights or not.
Right.
Are you glad that it came to the people, and what do you think they're voting? What do you think they'll vote?
Well, I think it's something that probably should be voted on. I don't know whether I should have had the right to say. I don't really think that they should vote. They aren't here enough to really know all the
Even when they're in Arizona?
No, I don't think so. I think it puts a lot of pressure on them. No, and I don't think they're really interested in voting.
So you think that's how you would have decided the issue, and obviously the people, that's in the lead, so you think never is going to win?
I would guess so. I would hope so.
Any prediction on president?
No, at this point, looking at the board, I just really, I can't call it now.
Okay, well, thank you, Judge, for standing by or with us, and we'll be back with Election 83 in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you don't mind the little stalls that we take throughout the course of our election coverage this evening. And even if you do, there's nothing we can do about it because so many things are coming in all at once and we have to keep track of them. And if something doesn't come in, then we've got nothing to say. So hope you enjoy the great music and the great flag that we're looking at on this beautiful weekend of ours. Well, should Doris Heath continue her reign as judge? 2 more votes have come in, and they're very promising for her. At least one of them is. Take a look at your screen now, and then we're going to take a look at outside representative. So just mentioned, 2 more votes come in. Question 1A, Doris Heath as judge. Trying to find my script here. 1 vote yes, bringing her total for 3 yeses and 1 no. No question that yes will probably carry out. That seems to be the trend. And for outside representative, 2 more votes to come in on this one as well. Both of them no. 6 votes reporting. 3 more to go on question number 2. All 3 of them will have to go yes in order for there to be an outside representative. If not, no will win. And 3 more votes have come in for current incumbent of the media, president of the Heath Media, James Heath. now up to 7 votes. So, with those 7 votes, that should be an indication that it will go very quickly now. Grandma and Grandpa issue, question number 4. So you can tell 2 more votes have come in on this issue, and both of them have gone for the middle one, the one that HBM predicted would win, when here. If you remember correctly, Never at All was ahead there for a while, 2 to 1 to 1, but now every election and Never at All are behind the 3 votes for going for when here. And now, the 2 votes for president of the Heath household have been tabulated, and they've been split. You can see Marianne Dalton has taken another vote, and Rol Heath has finally gotten up on the board. However, that's 4 votes, 5 more to come in. If Marianne Dalton gets 2 more, she will have won the election. Rol Heath will need the next 4 to win, and here again he could receive the next 5 for all we know at this point. You know, I was talking to one member of the Heath family when just before she was about to go in to vote, and she told me, she said, "Jim, you know, Rol Heath wants to be president, and he's campaigned for it, but he hasn't done anything when he's had it, and he hasn't proposed anything if he gets it again." And I think that very well could be the indication and possibly the outcome of tonight's election. We have nothing to report at this time, so stay tuned. Election 83, we'll be right back. For the position of treasurer, whether it should be appointed or elected, 2 more votes have come in, bringing its total up to 6, with only 3 more votes to go. 3 of them have gone, 2 of them have gone for elected, 1 of them has gone for appointed. Appointed would need the next 3 votes to win. We did predict that elected would win, and I don't think there's any way. I think the old song, "Turn out the lights, the party's over," for this number 3 is over. I think elected has pulled out ahead. And 1 more vote has come in on question number 4, and it's gone for the top one. Every election. 7 votes have been completed on question number 4, 2 votes to go. If 1 vote goes for every election, 1 vote goes for Never at All, we will have a split tie and not be any closer to the answer of this question than we were when we started the balloting. But what are the probabilities of that happening? But, as you can see, when here is still ahead, 3 votes to 2 to 2. Should the judge continue in the next 6 months or be on the next ballot 6 months from now, 8 votes have come in, 1 more vote to go. Should the judge be on the next presidential ballot, 4 votes yes, 4 votes no. The next vote to come in will decide this question. That's the only thing that will do it. Question number 2, should we have an outside representative? This one's over. So far, with 8 votes to come in, just 1 more left. 6 of them have said no. Only 2 have said yes. This one's all through. Question number 3 is our first part of our ballot that's done. All 9 votes have been reported. The question, should the treasurer position be appointed or elected? Well, in our next presidential election 6 months from now, whether or not we have a judge on the ballot, there will be a position of treasurer open. Elected has defeated appointed 6 votes to 3. Now, some people might not have voted for elected to get it on the ballot 6 months from now. Some people voting for Rol Heath probably would have voted elected just to make sure that Marianne, in case she wins, does not have the opportunity to appoint, let's say, Richard Dalton to the Treasury. If this is any indication, Rol Heath could very well be on his way to a re-election this evening, because elected has defeated appointed, and Marianne Dalton wanted to get people to allow her to appoint her treasurer nominee. So that was all done. Question number 3 is through, and that wraps up that part of our ballot. Well, if Doris Heath has at any time worried about being elected back as judge, she need not worry anymore. With 7 votes to come in, 2 more to go, Doris Heath has regained her control as Heath judge, at least for another 6 months. 5 votes yes, 2 no, once again, with 2 more to come in. Number 3 has been wrapped up. Finally, number 2, outside representative. When we predicted no at the media, we had no idea that it would really be no. With 7 votes against it, an outside representative idea was defeated 7 votes to 2. Well, here at the election center, it's getting a little bit later now, and things are beginning to come together. It's just a question now and just a matter of time before everything gets tabulated. You know, in the grandma-grandpa situation, probably the tightest race there is, well, there's one other that's pretty tight, but anyway, in the grandma-grandpa situation, even if one vote goes for when here, and one vote goes for one of the others, either every election or never at all, it is remarkable how, on this question, it split so narrowly on each of the 3 levels. Now, we expected there would be a few never at all votes, and we predicted when here would win, but we had no idea that people were even considering grandma and grandpa to vote in every election. So that's a very interesting situation. As a matter of fact, just 2 more votes to come in on that one. We'll get to that in just a second. In the meantime, if I can step out of the picture right here, this has just been handed to me. Rol Heath is judge, 7 votes. As you know that she's already got it, but the last 2 votes have come in. Question 1A. Now here at the media, we thought it would be split a little bit differently. We expected her to get the yes votes, but we didn't know she'd get so many. Rol Heath has unanimously, by a landslide, defeated her no opponent with 7 votes to 2. Question 1A, question 3, and question 2 have now been wrapped up. For President of the Heath Media, we have an interesting situation. This is the least amount of votes he has ever received. James Heath will have to settle in this presidential election for 7 votes, 2 votes, non-circled. And now, for President of the Heath household, a couple more votes have come in. Marianne Dalton is just 1 vote. 1 vote away from becoming the next president of the Heath household. Rol Heath is hanging in there, but he's behind 4 votes to 2 with 3 votes to go. And Mr. Heath would have to receive all the next 3 votes to regain his presidency. Now, we predicted he would do this, so the remaining 3 votes very well and possibly could be for Rol Heath. Now, we're doing this just by numbers. We're not planning this, but at this time, Marianne Dalton is on her way to a victory. We predicted that it could be Rol Heath's favor, 7-3. So Marianne has already surpassed that, and she needs just but 1 vote to go over that hurdle and become our 4th different Heath president. And so, with that in mind, we have 2 more blanks to come in. Question 1B, should the judge be on the next presidential ballot? We already know that we're going to have a treasurer on our next ballot. Will we have a judge? The vote is in. Here's the result. By a narrow margin of 5 votes to 4, the judge is on her way out. Judge on the next ballot will not be by a decision by a majority of the Heath family voting members. 5 votes to 4, no. 1B has been defeated. Another presidential ballot has just been handed to me. Rol Heath is still in the race. It's now 4-3. 7 votes have come in. 4 votes for Marianne Dalton, 3 votes for Rol Heath, 2 more votes to go. If Rol Heath receives the next 2 votes, he'll win. If Marianne Dalton gets 1 of them, she'll win. Will Marianne Dalton be able to unseat the current incumbent, Rol Heath? Stay tuned. Grandma and Grandpa's when they should vote is coming up after this second. Let us tabulate it first. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. I don't. Take a look at your screen right now, and you can look at the ballots for facts. This question is either A, going to have to be redecided by our judge, or B, appear on the next election with different wording so that people won't vote the same way. Question number 4 has ended up split 3 different ways. Should Grandma and Grandpa have the right to vote In every election, 3 votes. When in Arizona, 3 votes. Never at all, 3 votes. I don't believe it. What an exciting question. Question number 4 is absolutely worthless because it was split not just 2 ways, but 3 ways. An almost impossibility. And now, 2 more votes to come in on our final question. One of them has been reported. For President of the Heath household, Rol Heath, the current incumbent, was way behind, and now, as you can see, what an exciting election. I hope you're as involved in this as we are at the media. We're ecstatic about this. Rol Heath and Marianne Dalton are tied 4 votes apiece. When our next and final vote comes in, we'll know who continues or who is the next president of the Heath household. And that's the only question left to come in. Boy, this has certainly been an exciting, in my opinion, exciting election time. Ladies and gentlemen, none of these things were rehearsed. We did them question after question. We crossed them off. How many times have I told you that throughout the course of the evening? We're racing against time. Our studio lighting is slowly dying away, and I think it's appropriate because we have just but 1 vote to come in. It has come in. And ladies and gentlemen, look at your screen right now, because here is the winner of this time and this presidential election. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Heath household. Marianne Dalton has won the presidential election 5 votes to 4. President of the Heath media, Jim Heath, has picked up 7 out of 9 votes. Doris Heath, as judge, picked up 7 out of 9 votes. Should the judge be on the next ballot? 5 votes no, 4 votes yes. Should there be an outside representative? 7 votes no, 2 votes yes. Should the treasurer's position be elected or appointed? Elected won 6 votes to 3. So we'll see a treasurer on the next ballot, but not a judge. And finally, Grandma and Grandpa tied, split 3 ways. I'm Jim Heath. Congratulations, President of the Heath House, Marianne S. Dalton. And remember, this is the Heath presidency. I'm Jim Heath for Election 83. Good night and good politics.
Idea for the future. This has been a special from HBN, your Heath Broadcasting Network. Copyright 1983.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is the day after the election. I'm Jim Heath reporting. Fines for farts will be installed on the 4th of July. As of today, it's the 3rd of July, and tomorrow Marianne Dalton will be sworn in as the next president of the Heath House. And with her presidency comes a lot of questions, not only on fines for farts, but what exactly she plans to do to enact this Fines for Farts program. Stay tuned. All these details, plus a whole lot more, including an upset ex-president Rol Heath, is coming up next on Election News 83.
President has arrived.
Victor has arrived.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome back once again, everybody. I'm Jim Heath reporting. This is election 83, the day after. Rol Heath is on his way out. He once again is in the old memoirs of our Heath presidents. I believe Marianne Dalton went into the election last night believing that she would not win, and on the other hand, Rol Heath went into the election thinking he was going to win. When it was all tied 4 votes apiece, I believe that was generally what they were thinking. But it surprised us all. It certainly surprised me. I believe it surprised Marianne and Dad and everyone who was watching our election show last evening. Marianne Dalton is the new president, and with her she brings fines for farts. The only question left now is just how she's going to enforce this fines for farts program.
Well, I tell you, I have some jars that we've just happened to save, and I'm going to put one out in our house, and then I'm going to distribute them through the households, and then ask the people to be as honest as possible and contribute as necessary. And probably in the next week or so distribute some maybe letters telling exactly what we're going to expect out of maybe 5 cents at home. And then when get-togethers go, and if they're blatant or not, and then we'll go.
Yeah, are you going to have a list? Because, you know, it's going to be dictatorship if you just merely say, well, that was a 75-cent one. I mean, there should be a set price.
In the home, I think, because it is in the privacy of your home, if you're not having a party or anything, I think 5 cents is, because I can see people like Mick and Dad, that if it was any more than 5 cents, they'd be broke in a week.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to be close. I felt that I should get it, because I felt people were ready for a change, some new blood, somebody that might do a little more in office, but it was a close one.
Devastation could have been the key word last night. Mr. Heath, after learning the result, quickly left the room and went into his own room and was secluded for the rest of the evening. At the time, he also mentioned that he was cutting off all funds to the media and blamed the media for his loss. Former president of the Heath House, Rol Heath, we mentioned that you went into the election thinking that possibly you could win. Were you surprised at the results?
I certainly was. I can't hardly believe it. I'm still stunned, all the people that double-crossed me.
Mm-hmm. You really expected it to be 7-2?
No, I really thought it would be 6-3, Jim. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely very surprised at a 5-4 vote, and I have a lot of things to say. Do you want me to get right into them?
Why don't you go ahead?
As you know, we've always backed the press, and consequently now that we're out of power, why we are no longer supporting the news and press financially.
As a former representative of the Fart Party, you're talking for all of them.
Oh,
all
no,
four.
No. I'm talking strictly as president of the Heath household, ex-president now. So I am going to still support the press logistically and everything like that, but I'm going to cut off financial support because as a president, as not being the president anymore, why the press obviously can't help me any, so I'm just going to drop that from my curriculum. That will be one thing that I am going to start saving and this type of thing and investing that money into other things, because I felt the press let me down in this election, definitely did, and then they of course come out against me, and I think that was the turning point.
So you believe the press is responsible for your defeat?
Oh, certainly. Secondly, besides that, I'm going to check with my backers and see if we're going to start a recall action right away, because the candidate that beat me has already publicly announced that she had no intentions of keeping the platform she ran on, that was strictly...
You're telling the press and the people right now that the current president, the newly elected president, has no intention of carrying out the platform that she defeated you on.
Absolutely. She has made that statement to me, that she runs strictly with that to get elected, got the votes, and is now definitely not going to do anything about it.
How would you go about getting your organizers to have a recall election?
Well, I think it only requires about 20-25% of the electoral. That would be 33%. So all we'd have to do is have them sign a recall petition and have another vote.
That could be. We'll keep on top of that. You said you were surprised. You went into the election thinking you had won. What was your general thought when you saw on the screen for the first time that Marianne had won? What was going through your mind?
Oh, I thought of vengeance and revenge against the people that I felt let me down. That'll be if I think it's worthwhile. I don't know. I just haven't decided yet. You know, that would mean cutting off C's candy and goodies to Lynette and things like that. There's all kind of things, you know, that I obviously know who voted for me and who didn't, you know. So
What about this Fines for Farts program? Do you think it's going to be successful? I mean, she's going to have a lot of trouble.
I don't think she will initiate it at all. She's already told me personally that she will not have anything to do with it. It was strictly a subterfuge.
Quickly, as we wrap up our interview,
No, I have more things. I also think that the election could be thrown out on the fact that the ballots were completely unguarded. I think that the election headquarters, in fact, may have not even voted until the tally of 8 votes was in, and then deciding factor was thrown one way or the other, making the electorate or whoever in charge of the ballots the king broker or power broker. I think that deserves an investigation.
Well, the investigation will show that Richard Dalton was the last person to vote. 8 envelopes were sealed at the time of his voting.
Well, none of my people ever saw the envelopes at all.
Did you ask to see the envelopes?
Why, no, but I just assumed that they would be handled diligently. I'm quite surprised that, you know, I don't know what my investigation will show there.
Quickly, we do have to wrap up our interview. Do you think you'll be back in the election 6 months from now?
Oh, certainly not. I think...
Well, you sound just like Lynette and Bill. But you're not like them. You were a little bit more successful than they were.
The thing about it is the fact that, you know, I've did all this traveling. I've done all these things. I've been beaten by a campaign promise that is not even going to be held to, and obviously the voters are fickle, and I just don't care to even become involved in it again. Howsoever, I do think that a recall potential or even a ballot investigation are both worthy things we should undergo. I think it was fraudulent, personally.
Okay, thank you, former President of the Heath House, Rol Heath, for standing by. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. President of the Heath House, Marianne Dalton, is coming right up.
Yeah, he should get over it. I don't think he has any desire to be president again. It was too much for him to handle. I just don't think he knows what he's getting into. A recall would never work, for one thing. We were talking and we were kidding around, and you were interviewing or having some type of session, and I kiddingly told him, well, I doubt if I ever get it off the ground or what, but I'm not serious about that. I'm serious about distributing the jars, and then we'll have to go from there, see if the other people are going to participate. I think it's a good idea to raise money, a good way to raise money. I can't think of a better way to raise money in our family, one that would probably provide more income than this will.
As you say, may possibly break a few people.
That's right.
Okay, well, thank you, newly elected president. In summary, would you like to thank the supporters or say anything to them now that you're newly elected president?
Well, I'm glad that they chose me. I appreciate it, and I hope that we can all work together and not make this just one person
Working against everyone.
Right. They can get everyone working together.
So remember to subscribe to the Jim Heath channel and hit that like button. Thank you for watching.